Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. My name is Zach. I'm here with Laura. Laura attended my boot camp this weekend. It was the first time I had taught it, and which was a nerve-wracking and exhilarating experience for me. I was really glad to have her there. We talked today about some of her takeaways, and I'm grateful for that because it helped me clarify some of what I was teaching and talking about, and also just try to understand it better. Hope it's meaningful for you. Before we get to the bootcamp conversation, you'll hear about our ideas for my OnlyFans account. You'll hear about me getting canceled. As always, there's a couple other rabbit trails that we go down. This is a very cool conversation. Stick around. I presently have maybe my favorite pedicure I've ever had.
What is it? By the way, the fact that our marketing gals said, hey, by the
don't
you
show
guys,
people your feet.
Hold on. Yeah. Zach has been sending, we work with our marketing team. They run our social media and all that. And so what we have to do is we have to send them photographs of like, what are we up to? What do we want them to put and push on the social media? Yeah. And I'm not joking. Zach sends a foot photo once a week of his pedicure. And it's like crickets. They never respond back. It's crickets.
I know.
I always give you compliments.
You guys have sent you 4 pedicure pictures. And you could make it like a montage or something. And she was like, people will unfollow you if you put your feet on the internet.
Yeah. I was laughing so hard because I'm trying so hard not to be critical and to like not cut you down like a little brother. But all I want to say is nobody cares about your fucking feet. Like, stop sending them photographs.
Yeah.
I
had
think
a Bart Simpson pedicure, by the way. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then
did your daughter appreciate it? You showed it to her.
Yeah, I did. I wore flip-flops to the play. So I showed everybody.
Cool. Yeah. Do people look down? They go, wow, buddy, like those are some really great toes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, people look at you and then they're like, oh, they like look at your shoes and then like, whoa, what's going on with your toes there? And then I show them.
You genuinely have beautiful toes, lovely toenails. My son's school teacher a couple of years ago wore nail polish. And so, and he wore it a lot. And the problem though is that he has like T-Rex toes. Like they are... like they're not beautiful feet. And so when you see purple out of the corner of your eye and you look down, you almost are like, man, why'd you have to trick me? Like he's just like tricking you into looking at his feet. But you have beautiful feet, so I'm fine to look at them. And if you want to become a Patreon supporter of $1,000, Zach will send you pictures of his feet.
I'm going to start an OnlyFans.
You should actually. I think that there's a market for your toes.
Maybe.
Oh my God.
We can stay on the air forever.
I would actually put a lot of energy into being your manager, your OnlyFans foot manager.
Well, there you go. This may work out after all. Right now
I'm imagining you like holding balloons between both of your feet, like laying on your back and taking pictures of just your feet and balloons and maybe like a birthday cake.
Okay. So right now I got 2 colors on my feet. It's like a dark, like smoky gray black. Okay. And then like a really good
orange,
sort of burnt orange. So it's for Halloween.
It's really descriptive.
Big toes. Like one of my big toes is black and one of my big toes is orange. And then on the other 4 toes, it's the opposite color.
Obviously.
So the cool thing, this is my favorite thing to do. I'm in the shower and I'm just looking down at my feet and I put my big toe on my right foot over top of my big toe on my left foot. So it looks like all 5 of my toes are the same color. And then I do it opposite. And I get to change my pedicure. So if I want like all one color on one foot, it's just like a little optical illusion I create for myself.
I love it when you share little things that people don't know about you, like what you do or like the things that you think about. It cracks me up because I realize just how much happens in your brain that in my life, I'm just like, I'm in the shower and all I'm thinking about is what's your next, who's your first client? And you're in there doing what men do when they shower and have you ever seen that skit?
I play I play the Wordle every day.
Yes.
So in the morning before I get out of the shower, I play the first word and then I see what I got. And then I get in the shower and I think about the second word. I think about all the strategies for the second word. Yeah. Okay. So I got like a 15-minute gap between the first word and the second word so I can.
There was
thinking about my OnlyFans account.
Okay, so this is what you're doing for excitement. I went to the senior center and played Mexican trains, which, do you know how to play Mexican trains?
100%, yeah.
We call it, my mom we called it ghost train, I think. And the reason why we called it ghost train is that there is like a clear train and that we always indicated that as being like the ghost train.
This is Domino's, by the way.
It's Domino's, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to, because it's 27 degrees out and my mom is losing her social network of like bird watching and going for walks. As a 66-year-old woman, I want to make sure that she has a social scene, and she needed her hype girl. So I took her to the senior center and I introduced her around, and there were 3 Cathys at my table. Must have been a big generational name at the time. And we played dominoes for an hour and a half. It was pretty great. And I ate Nutter Butters. They had Nutter Butters that they passed around, and steel coffee. So I'm pretty excited. I think she's hooked. I think she's going to go back. I'm hoping that she also utilizes their walking pool, when it has like a current and you're walking against the current. She's getting ready to do some old lady activities. I'm so excited for her.
Cathys were born in the 1950s.
Okay,
so Cathys are 50, 60, 75 years old now.
Yeah, totally.
That's right.
That is totally it. Yeah. Yep.
Totally. Cathy peaked as a name in 1950.
Yeah.
Which means all the Cathys are 75 right now.
Totally. I was hanging out with every single Cathy in Bend, Oregon.
Laura peaked in 1880 and then again in 1960 and then again in 1980.
Well, my mom is Laura and she was born in 1950, I want to say 4.
That's exactly right. Yeah, 1954 is when Laura peaked.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
She's Laura Lee and I'm Laura Elizabeth.
And then 1981, it looks like it peaked again.
Okay. Well, facts.
See, I think about this too. I'm like, hey, how old are the Lauras?
Nope.
They're 64, 65.
Nope. I don't have space in my head for that. I'm glad that you do though.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on day 4 of today's day 5 of not drinking. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm coming up on 4 years. It's like next week or next couple weeks.
That's exciting. It's in I forget it's called Zach's Thanksgiving, I think is in my calendar.
That's what they call it in AA. It's called Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
No, it's called your birthday. I don't know. It's either way. I think of it as Thanksgiving for sure.
Yeah. It's in there because you told me what to call it. So you have a title in my calendar. Can we talk about the last weekend?
First, can we talk about me getting canceled? It was my favorite thing.
Yeah, I would love to talk about you getting canceled. Go on.
You guys got canceled, and I'm really sorry about it. But this lady sent us an email, and it was a really nice email. She said, I've listened to every single episode. And I was like, yes, we have all these people who have listened to every single episode, and they're letting us know, and they're really happy about it. But she had enough. She was done with us. Well, me.
Yes.
Because I was being too
political,
forward facing with my politics. And
I
was like, okay, well, see you later. I wrote her a long note. I wrote a very nice note.
Oh, you did? You sent it?
Yeah. 100%.
The version that I read, you sent?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, you guys, it was nice. One half of it was nice. The other half of it was snarky.
If half of it was nice. The first 25% was nice, and the last 25% was nice.
You sandwiched it.
Was a little. It
was snarky.
Yeah.
But
were you
defensive?
Though. No,
I didn't think you were defensive.
No, I was just honest. And here's the thing. I'm happy to talk about the weekend. I think we should talk about the weekend.
We will.
To me, it is just a surprise that if anyone has listened to 7 years, 300 hours of me talking. That they would be surprised by me putting energy behind relational integrity and accountability. Like, if that shocks you, then that's it. Because I don't think that there's a debate this one comes out on election day. So I guess we're done talking about it. But I just don't think there's a debate in this particular case.
Well, and I will say, I think that it's pretty awesome that you have said, like, go out and vote, go vote. But, there was one mention, and it wasn't an outright mention. It was because you wore a shirt, and
which you mentioned, not me.
That's right. It was me. I was curious about it because I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But it was, you've never really said, here's who I'm voting for. This is why. Like, you haven't had any sort of like slander, but it was mentioned,
it's not
maybe
unclear.
Your preferences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
One time.
It's fun.
Anyway.
I'm exactly like Taylor Swift now. Like, we're the same.
You are. You're the same person.
Yeah. Next week, then they're going to show me at the Chiefs game. I'm going to be like, I'm going to be.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. But I have a little, it's a little bit of a badge of honor. I've never been canceled before. So now I've got that bucket list item kicked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I thought I got fired last week, and I did not get fired. They came back.
By a client?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Therapy's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard work, and it's hard being the person that's pushing all the uncomfortable boundaries and spaces, and like it's hard to not take it personal when folks have a response or a reaction in therapy to their partner, to the process, to themselves, and to not take it personally as a therapist. It is hard work. Yeah. And I will say that I was feeling a little down about it last week, but word on the street is they may be coming back. So fingers crossed. You're not wrong, man. I went through a little bit of a phase. I might even still be in it, to be honest, but I probably had in the last couple months, maybe half a dozen people make a first appointment and then not make a second appointment. That's hard. Which doesn't really happen for me. Like, that's just not really a thing, but I don't know what it is. I know I've been shifting up a couple of things inside my practice, just at the onboarding level. So that may be part of it, but I can't figure out what the common denominator is between all these people. But, it's hard not to take it personally and internalize some of that stuff. So I'm with you. Yeah. I would rather have people, and I tell folks this, like the first session, like, trust your gut. Don't come back to me if it's not the right fit. I have a colleague, Zach, who might be a good fit for you. I often tell people, like, have no fear. I have somebody else for you. But I will say, like, the return rate is probably 95% for folks. And something that I think you and I have going for us is that most people who are coming to see us already know who we are. Not that we're celebrities, but you can do enough research to be able to listen to a podcast, watch a YouTube video to kind of understand our vibe and what we've got going on. So people are already sort of self-selecting into us as therapists. So I don't think it's anything special about who we are as people or what our onboarding looks like that we have a high return rate. I think that we have a lot of information out there for people to be able to self-select. Yeah. Hey, gang, are you using the Paired app yet? If you are, congratulations. I can't tell you how many of my clients have reported that when they're using Paired, they're communicating better and their relationship is stronger. If you're not using the Paired app, maybe now's the time to start. What's the Paired app, you might ask? It's an app for couples who want to strengthen their relationships. It was founded on the simple belief that real, lasting love is a daily practice. All of Paired's content is backed by experts and relationship therapists like me, and it's proven to work. Basically, how it works is you and your partner download the app, you pair together every day, and Paired gives you personalized questions, quizzes, and games to stay connected, deepen your conversations, and have fun too. When you sign up for Paired Premium, only one partner needs to pay for the subscription, so it's two for the price of one. The best part is that you can't see your partner's answers until you've answered yourself, so it's a safe space to have open and honest discussion about your relationships. No faking it, no pretending, just genuine connection. Rebecca and I have used Paired. We definitely go through phases, but this fall we've been using it a lot because I've been on the road. It's been a great way for us to stay in touch, even from different cities. Getting into a routine that provides meaningful connection in your relationship can be challenging. Paired is the perfect tool to establish that bond daily. You can learn how to communicate better, open up more, and argue less. It'll help you discuss difficult topics like your financial situation or starting a family, especially if you don't know how to bring them up. You might learn new things about each other, which could be more relevant for newer couples. And you'll find new ways to spice up your routine because, like I said, Paired gives you a library of games, quizzes. It's a fun, light way to stay connected to your partner. So whether you're just a few dates in or you've been together for a really long time, find time to connect with your partner and nourish your relationship with the Paired app. It's easy and fun and only takes about 5 minutes a day. We have an exclusive deal for Marriage Therapy Radio listeners. You get 50% off your subscription by going to paired.com/MTR50. Again, get 50% off if you sign up for a subscription on their website by using our link at paired.com/
MTR50. So sign up today.
Let's talk about your other work wife.
No, let's just talk about your experience of the weekend. Sorry, I didn't see that angle coming. No, I did. So, gang out there in Radio Land, this weekend was the first time I led the boot camp, our relational life boot camp, relationship skills boot camp. I led it online with a woman named Nancy Picard, who's fantastic, and she's out of Colorado. She's a life coach out of Colorado. Laura attended the weekend as a participant, and so it was a little bit weird. It was a little bit weird because
How was that for you?
I felt two things. I felt kind of like I needed to execute and make sure I didn't screw up because I didn't want to hear about it from you. But then I also actually felt I felt really comforted. I felt like I had I felt like my mom was at the soccer game or something, oh, cool. Like somebody's here to root me on. And I felt mostly like you were just in my corner. Like you were had my back as a,
I hope so. I don't think I was critical of anything.
No.
Intentionally.
And you wouldn't have been, but I think I just decided I'm really glad you're here. And I can't wait to talk about it later,
Yeah.
And, I caught myself a couple times making some of my old jokes and being like, Laura knows that joke. And,
I actually at times was like, I wonder if Zach is thinking I use this joke. Oh, I've told this story, but there were some things that you shared where I was like, whoa, I've never heard this before. And I have been with you for 10 years and I've never heard that story. And I was shocked because I kind of do feel like, you have a script and you refine it, you perfect it, and then you roll it out as many times as people will listen. And it's good because it's effective and it teaches. But I enjoyed the process a lot. And I thought you were the best that you had ever been. And I don't, And I told you at one point, I was like, wow, I really like this. Like you guys are really slow. And
that was a big focus for me, was to slow down, talk slower, go slower. Yeah.
And it was great being on the receiving side. I still have some questions. I still have some questions that I wanted to go through. Yeah. And I've already used this week, one up, one down. I've already charted the quadrants with a couple of my clients. I really want to talk about CNI. I think that is so interesting to me, but it was something that I still didn't grasp and still want to talk through. So,
let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. So here's how I understand a CNI, which is the core negative image.
Yep.
Do you have a core negative image of yourself? Like, do I carry a CNI of myself?
Sure. So just by way of definition, core negative image is the caricature that you draw of another.
Yeah.
When you are at your worst. So when I'm hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or when I'm annoyed by this, or I'm triggered by that, my brain takes a shortcut and starts to assign you characteristics that put you in a exaggerated posture. For you, it might be, critical, vain, selfish, or something like that. And I just lock you in, and then I treat you like that because I'm treating you like that, or like that. That's exactly who you are. And I'm doing that out of my CNI of you. And of course, it's not you. Some of it is true. Some of it is based in reality, but it's exaggerated. And I think, absolutely, you have core negative image of yourself. I mean, most people wake up every day and try to figure out how to put that away. That's why they exercise or put on makeup or, masturbate or journal or whatever it is that they try to do to make them put this thing away that they have to go into the world. A lot of men deal with imposter syndrome. I think that's part of their core negative image. So, and maybe women too, but CNI is a clinical term inside of RLT, which is about the exaggerated, true, but mostly negative character assignment I give to another person or myself when I'm having a bad day.
Okay. can you be in CNI for years? Because this is kind of what I'm thinking about is, sure, there's times, and I joke that there's about 4 days out of the month where I have access to the CNI of my husband. Otherwise, he is the most brilliant human being on the planet. And he is up on his pedestal, and I just think the world of him, except for 4 days out of the month. And I was thinking about some of my clients, and one of the complaints that I hear over and over is like, there is nothing I can do to prove to you that I am not the asshole you think I am. And they try over and over. And I think, if we're going to use maybe some Gottman language, it could potentially be like this negative sentiment override. The way in which you think about your partner is tainted. You're wearing those shit-colored glasses. Everything that you see is interpreted through this lens of negativity. With the core negative, CNI image of your partner, I was just wondering, is that something that you can drop into for years?
Let me see if I'm hearing you correctly. Okay. When you talk about 4 days, you're talking about like when you're in your period.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I'm on my period, my body is like in disarray. My emotions are raging, and that is the time that I access CNI of my husband, Ryan.
Yeah.
And I turn him into a lazy,
selfish, I think was another one.
Sort of
yeah.
Lazy,
selfish.
Whatever. But
I don't even remember the other one.
And then for about 4 days, I treat him poorly because of me, not because of him. Maybe he's the same all 30 days.
Sure.
But for those 4 days, I treat him poorly because of me.
Right.
Not because of him.
Yeah.
That's CNI. That's you operating out of CNI. Can you do that for years at a time? Sure.
Yeah.
If every day you wake up and you just kind of wake up depressed or anxious or bitter or, I always use hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
Right.
You wake up and you're insecure, or you just are committed to a victim mentality. I know people who are absolutely committed to a victim mentality. So everyone they meet is out to get them.
Right.
And that comes from generally some wound in their story.
Yeah.
That is vulnerable and needs to protect. But their life is miserable because everyone is trying to take advantage of them or harm them, or, they can't handle not being responsible for stuff.
Yeah.
That is them being in CNI forever until they do the work, right?
So this is the part that I was like, wait, what? Because if I'm in CNI, Laura Heck is in CNI, I see my husband as being for 4 days selfish and lazy. And there was another characteristic, and I'm glad I can't even think about it, of like that, because I had 3. So then I would assume that the way out of CNI, that would be the relational healing part of how I'm interacting with my partner, is for Laura to work on Laura, for me to be able to soothe the part of me and like cope and manage with my emotions, so that I am not unfairly putting my husband in this box where sure, every once in a while he can have selfish tendencies, but he's not a selfish human being.
Right.
But that was only part of the puzzle. There's another piece for my partner who has access when Ryan is aware that I am in CNI. Can you explain that part? Because that's what I didn't understand. Because I'm like,
yeah, I actually think I think I mucked it up a little bit. And I also think it's, when I go to Minnesota, I think I'm going to teach it a little bit differently, because I don't think it's actually all that necessary.
Okay.
But it's basically, there's a part that I'll mention first, which is the recommendation inside of this workshop is that when one or both of you recognizes that one or both of you is in CNI, can you ask for help? So this is a thing we've talked about all the time. Like, do you have a code word? Do you have a hand signal? Do you have some kind of enough minute, instantaneous awareness to say, Ryan, you hold up your hand when you're on your period and you go, and then he goes, okay, what do you need from me right now? And then you go, just be a little bit less selfish, or be a little bit less, like just get up and move this box for me, something to help you jog out of the CNI that you're like kind of raising the white flag on and saying, I can't right now. I don't have enough. Laura has enough challenge accessing, like not putting you in a box. Can you just help me get out of this box.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like we need to teach that as like the entire singularity of the thing, staying with one person. Because as soon as you add the second person in, this is where I think we mucked it up a little bit over the weekend and start going, hey, what is going on for you? And and what about him? And how do you do that? And then can you take care of each other? And I think it makes it a lot more complicated to understand.
Yeah.
But the point is, here's maybe the chronology. When you're in CNI and you recognize it, can you raise the white flag? And then can the relationship have a preloaded agreement that helps bust that up?
Totally.
Right? So Ryan, participating in this conversation with you, knows that you're going to raise the white flag, wave the white flag.
Yeah.
And that he's going to remember, oh yeah, this is a thing we talked about in the workshop, or this is a thing that we talked about.
Yeah.
I know what I have to do now, which is not, I'm not lazy. What are you talking about? I did it. Or this is crazy. I've been working all week and now I just want to watch one show. Like he doesn't do that, which is an easy thing to do when someone's calling you lazy.
Yeah.
He goes, oh no, I can help you with this.
It's in service of the relationship. It's basically saying like, oh, I get that you don't have the capacity to access a very gracious, compassionate version of me. Instead, you have access to this caricature, and I can own and take some responsibility that like those images came from somewhere. I can be selfish from time to time. I am unmotivated from time to time. And when these 4 days pop up, that is what you have access to. And I can help to kind of bust that image. So I imagine that he might put on his calendar. This is kind of interesting. I have no problem talking about bodily functions, as our listeners know. But the other day he goes, I can guarantee in about 1 day you are going to ask for sex and then you're going to start your period. And I was like, what? I'm not even close. And he was like, I know you. I know you. I'm like, okay. He knew me.
Sorry, you ready? You want to keep going?
Well, I think he could probably put on his calendar, like, I'm going to do more dishes on these 3 days, and I'm going to be, initiating taking out the garbage. And I might even, draw attention to the fact that I'm doing that and say, hey, babe, I loaded the dishwasher just the way you like it, kind of like leaning into busting up this image that I have of him.
Yeah, the other part of RLT that I think you actually got intrigued by over the weekend was really investigating the origin story of your ability to drop into CNI. So like for you, it might be something around how hard your dad worked or how hard your mom worked. And so when you see somebody who doesn't work hard, you immediately get triggered by, wait, this isn't the way the world is supposed to go, And so there's something about being in a relationship with somebody who can help care for your origin story, care for the adaptive child part of you that is acting out in response to feeling hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or on your period or whatever it is.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that I had shared that out loud.
I think you just kind of went, hey, this is actually a mind blower for me. Like, this is interesting to think about. Like, I think that's what you talked about, not the details, but just like.
Yeah. Well, a little bit like behind the scenes, and I think I can do this like respectfully, but what I realized is I am very sensitive to a sort of origin story of my dad, who has struggled with depression his entire life. And the way that it manifests is kind of dipping in and out of productivity, dipping in and out of, sort of like his emotions can take over and can sort of like rule the decision of what are we going to do that day? How are people going to respond to him? And so, having a parent that was really, I would say at times like incapacitated with his own mental health really impacts the way in which I see my husband. And it's definitely not fair because there is not a lazy bone in my husband's body, but I am predisposed to dropping into that negative space when I'm not at my best. And it is usually not only like a caricature of my husband, but it's like a superimposed caricature of my father as well. So
look at you.
I know. Yeah. So, and that is a really helpful thing, like in the moment, not in the moment. Like I wouldn't say having this conversation while I'm on my period is a great idea. Having a conversation now would be a great idea, and say, hey, I kind of had this like thing, and I'm kind of planning on, in the next week or so, maybe potentially dropping into this. And here's what I think would be really helpful. And here's my, game plan. What do you think? So I really thought it was an awesome workshop. Interestingly, I was really surprised at how much I already knew based on just being in relationship with you and the bits and pieces that you have shared with me. But the piece that I really appreciated was just being able to talk to other people about their experience. And
it's a lot of group work, and
it was
online
great.
It was, we were able to sort of drop people into this kind of randomized groups. I have a question that you may not be able to answer real thoroughly, which is, I think I have a bias after that experience of if couples are there together, not having them do any work together. So like when you were paired up with that guy as your husband, as your role play husband, and then some people who were there with their spouse were actually paired up with their actual spouse. I was sort of like, I think this might actually go better if everybody is paired up with a not their spouse.
Yeah.
So that like if you and Ryan were there together and you were paired with, John, and he was paired with Sue, you guys could go have your experience with John and Sue and then come back on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday and kind of compare notes and say, hey, so I got to do this with John and Sue without the burden or the weight of our actual issue.
Yeah.
But now how can we, what did you learn? What did you learn? I almost think I want to do the workshop without having couples interact with each other.
Here's how I would do that. And I agree. I think that would be awesome because, you get to test out vulnerability in different ways. Sometimes it's harder to be vulnerable with your partner if you have, let's just say, like residual resentment. But you can go into a room of strangers and it's, what's the risk? What's the harm? You're never going to see them again.
No consequences, basically.
Yeah, no consequences. What I would do is I would maybe develop an aftermath guide that has a series of questions that you can give people and say, now here's where you put it together. The exercises or questions to be able to integrate with your spouse after everything's happened. So yeah, give it a shot. Run it by Terry and see if he likes that idea.
Well, yeah, maybe not Terry, but Desiree is my boss, so I'm going to check in with her.
Okay. I actually was like kind of feeding your ego just a touch there. I don't know if you felt
like
it.
I have a direct line
inside.
To Terry.
Totally.
Yeah. Hey, let me just text him right now and see.
Yeah. You're like, I got this
Terry
great
knows
idea.
Where his phone is.
Really? They have a house phone. Do you remember that?
He's got a landline.
Yeah.
He does not. I mean, he is living his best life with his wife, just chilling. Like he's not worried about. He's not checking email. He's not sitting by his text. He's not scrolling TikTok. Great. He's just doing his thing, which is the coolest.
That is the coolest. Hey, here's something that I wanted to tell you about this. I start every session. Actually, let me ask you. I think I've asked you this before. Do you have a ritual in how you start sessions with folks?
Yeah.
What's your ritual?
I mean, I start every single, you mean first session or any session?
No, any session.
Oh, no, I don't. I kind of play it by ear. I sort of see what's going on and read the room a little bit and see where we're at. But I feel pretty good about being able to tell what's going to happen between like the 5 seconds between I get them in the waiting room and when they get into my office. Like I kind of know how the session's going to go. You can feel. Yeah. But I don't have a specific ritual now. But you sound like you may.
I do. And I'm excited about it because so we did the Harriet Lerner sort of like recap of the 9 ingredients and essential ingredients for an apology. And it just kind of got me thinking about how important it is to be able to take responsibility, acknowledge, and how that needs to be like a practice, something that you are actually practicing using those words. So now with the beginning of every session, I ask for people, and I've always done this, is like, what's one thing that you're really proud of the version of you that showed up in the last week that you're proud of? And oftentimes it's, behavior where I think this week somebody said, I've been really intentional about planning date nights. And I have been taking the lead, finding the babysitter, all of that. And I was like, that's amazing. That's something your partner can physically see. But oftentimes you're proud of things that your partner would never see. Like I have been trying to be very intentional with you, Zach, of not being as critical. It's a version of me that I am trying to work on and just kind of biting my tongue when I think it's going to be funny and it's going to land. It's not, it's criticism. So I've been really trying hard. And so when partners actually say that to each other, it's sort of like, oh, I didn't know that. And they're like, yeah, I've been really trying to work hard on this relationship. So that's one thing that I've been doing. The second part is, what's one thing that you need to acknowledge or take responsibility for that may not have landed well this week. And I think that has been such a cool game changer. And it just takes, the first 5 minutes of a session to just have a little bit of like a settling in and a little bit of a recap since we last saw each other. But that's been a new ritual. I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. And it's I would say it also gives us good context into what may have not gone well in the last week that might be good context to kind of bring up and work on.
I love that.
So, yeah. What's one thing that you need to take responsibility for or acknowledge or apologize for that happened in the last week? Yeah.
I'll try it out. I'm going to try that out. I got one couple in particular in mind that I think that would really go well for them, because they come in every week, they're loaded for bear. And I'm like, I think I'm going to change this inertia. Yeah.
Yeah. Taking responsibility is kind of like a big piece of the puzzle, and just getting used to using the language of, and I kind of coach them through when they start sort of like telling the story of what they need to take responsibility for is like, what percentage can you take responsibility for, 1%, 5%. And then how can you acknowledge the pain that you may have caused your partner? Like acknowledging and validating the fact that it impacted your partner in some way. And that kind of gets us rolling in a whole nother direction of like validation.
Yeah.
Cool. We have to land this plane because we have an interview coming up.
Yeah, we do.
Cool.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that you came to the workshop. I'm glad to talk to you about it. Maybe we have more questions will come up for you. I'm really interested actually to hear more of what you thought and what you, what your takeaways were. So, thanks for sharing that about CNI. I hope that was helpful for you guys out there in Radio Land. And
and you can find more information. Do you still have any spots available in your workshops coming up?
Philadelphia. If you want to go in Philadelphia in person, that's the only. I mean, I'll be on the other side of Minnesota by the time this comes out, and Philadelphia will be the weekend that this comes out. So if you're looking for something to do this weekend and you live in the Philadelphia area, you're welcome to check out marriagetherapyradio.com. I think there's still a registration link on there. And I'll probably do some more in the spring. I'm gonna keep my options open. So
cool. I like it. Play in the field. All right, let's land it.
Okay.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. Boy, we talked about a bunch of different things, but if you're interested in learning more about relational life, if you go to relationallifetherapy.com, Zach's referring to the boot camp, a 2-day live in-person workshop. The one that I took was actually a virtual, which was pretty great, live virtual training. And you can find all of that on relationallifetherapy.com. Thanks for all of your time and attention, making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.